because of the albinism, because of the lack of pigmentation in my skin, I also have a lack of pigmentation in my eyes and the retina of my eye, which causes me to be legally blind. I only have about 5% sight. And some people say, well, that's why you have so much confidence in your speaking. You can't see any of your audience members. I remember when someone invited me to this show. It was called the Decide Show. And I went to see it, and it was the best musical I had ever seen in my life. I mean, as I was watching it, my jaw fell to the floor. My mouth was drooling. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Now, part of the reason was that it was my idea. Like, I had envisioned combining entertainment and inspiration together, and I can't believe that someone else did it. They stole my idea. But luckily, I did enough personal development in the past years that I didn't let that stop me. And I said to myself, you know what? They accomplished something so great, and I really want to acknowledge them for it. So the play turns into a party. So after the party went until like 3 in the morning, and I finally got hold of Stuart, who was a director. And I went to Stuart. I said, Stuart, this is the best show I have ever seen. But it was my idea. And we got to talking, and I really acknowledged him. I said, listen, it was a fantastic show. It really made a difference for people. I could see that you're not only entertaining people, but you're causing them to think different. You're causing them to maybe take actions that they wouldn't otherwise take. I mean, imagine someone's coming to a show, and they might change the direction, that might change the direction of their life. I mean, that is so powerful. You are making such a big difference in the community. Thank you for doing that. And because of that, we started communicating, and he says to me, well, do you want to be a part of the show? And I said, sure. And the very next week, he had me on stage as a performer. And we've evolved our relationship together, and I became the director of communication and market development for the musical.
When I think of love, I think there's nothing I can't do, nothing that I can't prove, and this is what you do. When I think of us, I know that there must be something. Music just starts ringing. You've got me singing, and now I know I'm not going crazy, baby. I think that maybe I might be your lady, and if I am, please.
I mean, more than that, I've learned to listen to other people, because it doesn't matter what I tell them. What matters is how they feel when they're with me. And think about that. It doesn't matter what you say to people. What matters is how they feel when they're with you. Because if they feel good when they're with you, then they'll want to be with you more. It means you might have to talk to someone you haven't talked to before. And that's scary. I know what it's like. In fact, just the other day, I was sitting on the subway platform. And actually, I was sitting in the subway car. I was sitting in a subway car, and the doors open, and in walks this attractive, beautiful girl. And I'm single, so I'm trying to think about ways to talk to her, to approach her, and I can't figure it out. I'm sitting there, and I'm frustrated. My hands are sweaty. I'm like, I got to do something. I got to go talk to her. Then all of a sudden, she gets up, and she walks over, and she starts talking to this other person. Now, I'm eavesdropping on their conversation, of course, and I discover that they're strangers. She was a stranger talker. That means she would have been open to talking to me as a stranger, right? So I wait until their conversation completes, and then she goes back, and I'm like, okay, now I have no excuse. Now I have to go and talk to her. So I procrastinate, I keep thinking about it, and I just go and do it. I approach her, and she's reading a book, and first thing that comes to my mind is, do you use bookmarks? And she looks up at me, and she says, yes, but I don't have any with me today. At this moment, I thank God that I was a best-selling author with my own bookmarks. And I said, well, how about this one? That's a perfect segue into the answer to how to overcome your fears, which is all you got to do is you got to take action. Action stops the fear. Not immediately, but continued action will have the fear subside. What you want to do is you want to learn to take your disadvantages and turn them into advantages. Take your disadvantages and turn them into advantages, because Jerry Meadows said an amazing quote which blows me away. He says, people don't become successful in spite of their challenges. People become successful because of them. Right? People don't become successful in spite of their challenges. They become successful because of them. So whatever that fear is that you may have that you think is holding you back, that is your answer. That is your secret. That is what you want to turn around. And I turned it around because one frustrating thing for me was I can't recognize people. I can't relate with them. What am I going to do? And I said, well, you know what? If I can't recognize people, I'm going to make everybody recognize me. I am going to go to every single networking event I possibly can and have people see me. And I was like, I look different. And as a child, that worked against me. I had people harass me and ridicule me and call me Casper and all this stuff. And I said, well, now they're going to remember me. Now they're going to easily spot me in a crowd. They're going to say, there's that guy. And it's worked.
I honestly thought he was quite outstanding. It's quite remarkable, a man with his challenge in life and yet communicates so effectively, and I think he's absolutely delightful.
I really appreciated Danish's energy and his enthusiasm for his topic. I've seen Danish several times before. I've got his book, and I think he's a remarkable young man with, like the previous testimonial said about his challenges in life, and it's amazing. People who meet him and have seen him in action don't realize that he is technically blind and he really can't see. Right, right, and I always remind him who I am when we get together so that he can see me and understand who I am. So we share a lot of same things.